Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Nerd to Nerd, the podcast that encourages you to let your inner nerd out. I'm Lee.
And I'm Binx.
And we're here.
We're here. Yeah,
yeah, we're
exactly.
here. We're here.
We are.
This has been an experience. First off, we need to tell everyone that we are virgin podcasters. Even though we've been listening to podcasts for a while, neither one of us has tried this before.
That's probably the only thing we're virgins.
That is, that is very true. I don't know. I was thinking about that the other day when we first started talking about this. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I know we've had this argument, but I'm still classified. I classify myself as Gold Star. A Gold Star lesbian, right?
Yes.
I know that we've had that. I know that we've had that discussion. So technically, technically, we're still virgins in that respect.
Yes,
but nothing else.
Probably
and
not.
Even then, it's a big stretch because we've been around.
Yes.
All right. I totally got off topic right away, and that's fine.
That's okay. We'll bring it back.
We'll bring it back in. But no, this has been quite an adventure, and the hardest part so far is just us finding a name for ourselves.
You would think that it was like I don't know, like the hardest thing in the world to come up with a name, but unfortunately everything that we would come up with that was like, yeah, this is great, somebody else had it.
Somebody already had it. It's just we're getting into the game so late.
Yeah. But, better late than never, I say.
Yeah.
At least we're trying.
And everything happens for a reason, and so this is actually very suiting for us because it's just a conversation, nerd to nerd.
Yeah, that's right. Me and my friend Lee.
Yeah, my buddy Binx. So I guess we probably ought to tell everybody what we're doing here, why we're doing this.
I think we should talk about our story and about how we met, and the show that brought us together, which is Wynonna Earp.
Wynonna Earp, yes.
And for me, it was a recommendation of a friend back in the end of 2019 to watch this show. And the reason I was told to watch this show was for the queer ship Way Hot. And I was like, well, what's a Way Hot? And now I'm all in, as we Earpers say. So yes, we're both Earpers. And so we met through the show, but let me digress. So the show led me down a dark hole of YouTube, because then I started seeking out videos of Way Hot, which then led to convention panels, which, most Earpers, that's what we do, right? We seek out more content. And then the convention panels made me fall in love with every single member of the cast because they're amazing. And also Emily Andress is a star in her own right. And through watching
the show creator.
Yes, the showrunner. Yes.
The showrunner.
Someone in something I watched or something I read that was Wynonna Earp oriented said that Earpers are on Twitter. And I was like, these are my people. I need to find them. So I immediately went to Twitter. And it's funny because I had resisted getting a Twitter account for years. And now Twitter is like, that's all I ever do anymore.
Yeah. I think that's something that we both have in common too, because I've had it. It says I joined Twitter in 2012, and I'm like, I don't even remember joining or ever using Twitter until I found this show.
Yeah.
So I think that's another thing we have in common.
Yeah, and now it's like every single day I'm going to Twitter checking,
every single hour.
Exactly.
Every single minute sometimes. I'm not off Twitter. I'm like, okay, I got to put the phone down now.
Detach from,
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, that led me to a Twitter account, and fun fact, my first tweet was actually to wish Kat Burrell, who plays Nicole Hott on our favorite show, a happy 30th birthday. The timing of it couldn't have been more perfect. And so I love that. I love that I can say that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then why don't you talk about the group chat?
Yeah, so I had been on Twitter for a while, and joined a bunch of different group chats over the course of, I don't know, early 2019, but I didn't find a lot of commonality with a lot of the folks, and so I kind of put it aside, and I gave it one more shot because the person who put the group chat out was someone that I had actually met in real life, so I said, all right, I give it one more shot, and I'm glad I did because, as Binx said, there's 5 of us that eventually hit it off, and made our own little group, and definitely we've all got the show in common, but we've got a bunch of other things in common, and we realized that we had more shows in common as well, more things in common, and the fact that we've both suppressed our inner nerd, over the course of our lives, for me, it's been an eye-opening, and even not so much maybe not eye-opening. It's been an enlightening and uplifting experience. I've said over the course of even our conversation that I've been out. Being queer is not the problem. I've been out for 30 years, but admitting to people that I'm okay with being a nerd and letting them see that nerdy side of me has been a journey and an adventure, and I'm not, now that I'm out of the nerd closet, I'm not going back in.
Definitely don't go back in the nerd closet.
No.
So who would have thought that a show about a demon hunting heroine would spawn
with a magic gun,
right? Would spawn a group of Erper nerds who found a deep connection, and like you said, we talk every single day, whether it's through chat, text, we Zoom, probably at least once a week. But interesting fact about all of that, we've never met in person.
Nope.
And we've been talking for over a year now.
Yep.
And it, like I said, every day, and we've never met in person. But that kind of leads to, well, why didn't we meet? Well, COVID is a dick.
Yeah, definitely.
We were supposed to go to several conventions over 2020. Unfortunately, COVID kind of had other plans, so they've all been rescheduled numerous times. So we still haven't had an opportunity to meet in person.
But we will.
And we're all very excited to do that. We talk about it every once in a while. We'll be like, when we meet, you're getting the biggest hug I've ever given anybody. I feel like I have found my family. Like, you are my peoples.
You're my nerds.
That's right.
We probably should, also acknowledge the fact that it's not just the 5 of us that have this show has touched this way. It's hundreds and hundreds and thousands. There's not too many Erpers that you could hardcore Erpers that you could talk to now that would not tell you the same story. That they found their people. We see it all the time with the people that we interact with on Twitter. Even the cast, Emily and Kat especially are fully aware, and Tim are fully aware of the relationships that we all have formed with each other outside of the show. There's been weddings, one particular wedding that I was witness to that Emily officiated. I don't know if you know that.
At the con you went to.
At the Palooza that I went to, Emily officiated a same-sex wedding.
That's amazing.
It was amazing. It was wonderful. And she had a ball.
Of course she did.
Yeah, she loved it. She ate it up.
Yeah. Well, and Emily Andrus, we jokingly say, but, we call her our Lord and Savior. She, I don't know, there's something about her and her wit and just her openness and her vulnerability. Can't say it.
Vulnerability.
Yep.
Yeah. Her creative mind is just one of a kind.
Yes, absolutely. And just the fact that she's so, she's our champion as far as queer relationships, giving us what we've always wanted to see and sadly haven't seen on TV
until recently, and we'll get into that because I'm pretty excited about what's going on with some other shows.
Absolutely.
So we're Erpers at the core, and we will definitely talk about the show. But again, that's not the only thing that we want to talk about. That's not the only thing that we nerd out about. But before we go away from ERP, there's an ERPing happening this weekend, so I'll let you.
Oh, okay. So the ERP Curse Con is this weekend. It's today is Saturday, and tomorrow is Sunday. So there are 3 panels today and 3 panels tomorrow. Emily and Martina will be in a panel called Viva Valdez. Danny fucking Kind and Savannah will be in Tough Broads.
That's going to be interesting.
Yes. And Martina and Savannah will be at a panel called Newbies, since they're so new to the show. Which, side note, I'm going to actually have to miss that panel, and I have a pretty good reason. I mean, I think it's a pretty good reason. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a damn good reason.
Yeah. I won a gaming call with Emily Andress.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. I don't even know what game we're playing, but I'm all in. I can't wait. It will be my second time conversing with Emily. I've had one-on-one with her, and she's just amazing. So I can't wait for that. Anyway, back to ERP Curse Con. Sunday's schedule, there are another 3 panels. The first one's called The Brains, and that's Varun and Tamara. Is it Tamara?
Yeah, Tamara.
Yeah. And then we have one called The Bus, of course, and it's most of the cast that are going to be at the con.
Yeah.
And this is all virtual too. Let me preface that too.
Yeah.
But Emily, Kat, Varun, Tamara, and Danny fucking Kind will be in that panel. And then the one that will wrap it all up for this weekend is The Angel's Shield, which is just Kat Burrell.
Yeah.
Which the fandom is just, we don't deserve her. She is amazing.
She truly is an amazing person.
And she is the best of us, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then, this con will actually spill over into next weekend because why is that, Lee?
I'm assuming Kat had previous engagements or had plans, and she couldn't do the one-on-ones this weekend. But you and I both were lucky enough to win, because they do it as a lottery. We were both lucky enough to win a chance to have one-on-one calls with Caparel, and this will be my 3rd time speaking with her, and I'm still even talking about it, I still get butterflies, because she's just such a wonderful person.
She really is.
It's just an amazing time.
She's a beautiful soul.
Yeah, she really is. The 3 minutes go super fast, but I've got questions written down this time, so I'm not going to act like a buffoon, hopefully. And yeah, so we'll be gushing about that because we'll probably have to record after, because my session starts at 10 next Saturday morning, so we're gonna have to record this. We're gonna have to do this afterwards.
Oh yeah, okay. And mine's at 2, so
some point in the day.
Yeah, at some point in the day.
So we'll have our reactions to my buffoonery.
Oh, that's right. Well, yeah, actually that would be perfect if we timed it so that we could actually talk about having just talked to Kat Burrell.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back though. Why are we doing this podcast, Lee? This is something that's completely out of both of our wheelhouses, but it just seemed to fit.
Yeah.
You've already touched on the fact that we both suppressed our inner nerds. I was in a relationship for almost 12 years and never really felt like I could fully just be me as far as what I was really excited about. I kind of just muted that part of my personality to try to fit in. Just had like an awakening as far as just I want to be me in every respect. And I only want to be surrounded by people who are good with that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't want to be ashamed of the fact that I enjoy entertainment, that I enjoy the fact that, human beings have taken the time to write a script, hone their craft as an actor or an actress, and a director and a producer, and sat down and put this thing together, this entertainment piece together for me to watch. I don't want to be ashamed that I love that, and that I love those characters, and that I'm willing to learn their names and find some identity in, you know, in myself in that. And so that's why we want to sit here and talk about it. And we do offline, you know, constantly. We're always talking about these kinds of things, and it's made me feel 100% more comfortable. I still wouldn't share that with certain people in my life. And even if I do sometimes share it, you know, it goes in one ear, not the other anyway. So, you know, that's the other thing. It's like we hear each other and we relate in a language that other people sometimes can't relate to.
True. Yeah, so, absolutely. And it's a safe space, you know, we're allowed to just be who we are, nerd out about what we're excited about. And it's refreshing, to be honest. I've never had that before. And I love my nerds, you know, I love my found family because I finally feel like I am able to just be who I am. And there's no, you know, I don't have to be ashamed, like you said.
Right.
But the podcast, it just kind of naturally I mean, well, you approached me about it, and in Emily Andrus fashion, I said yes, and then I decided I was going to figure it out. So that is something she had said at a panel at a con. Say yes and figure it out later. So that's what I did. And you know, also the fact that we're both queer, but we're queers with a creative itch. Like we both are constantly trying to create. I do some videos, you do some videos. We both have dabbled in fan fiction, which I think we both realized that I had no idea fan fiction even existed before I found Winona Earp. No.
And you know, started reading the Way Hot stories, and it just sparked something in me. I mean, I had inklings of wanting to be a writer when I was much younger, but those went away. You know, just trying to adult, being you know, just trying to do the adult things.
Yeah.
But I found out that I actually do enjoy it, and I'm not terribly bad at it. So
no, you're actually really good at it.
No.
Yeah, and we'll definitely talk about fic at some point. But that kind of leads me into the fact that this show has this, you know, supposed it's only a show. It has spawned a lot of firsts for me personally. It's my first fandom. It's my first group chat. It's my first Zoom experience. The fact that I have 4 friends all across the country who I've never met, that's a first. Fanfic, of course, like I'm in the same boat as you, Lee. I never knew it existed, and now I do, and wow, it has totally opened up. I mean, well, the show itself has actually opened up my entire nerd world. Even podcasts, I had never listened to a podcast before. I didn't even really understand what they were.
Yeah.
And now look at us. We're sitting here trying to record our first podcast.
I know. I mean, I thought podcasts, and I think maybe when they originally started, were just, you know, basically talking heads, and it was PBS, and it was
right, like NPR.
NPR. It was like not necessarily an entertaining thing, and,
right? More of like a news or right. Just
obviously the forum has evolved to be quite sophisticated now.
And I don't know about you, but when I'm at work, I have a sit down at your desk computer, you know, I'm on the computer all day. I am listening to podcasts all day long. It's like, now it's like, I don't even really listen to my Spotify anymore because I'm like, oh, what pod can I find? You know, I just find them so interesting. And, you know, whether it's talking about a show that I liked or what have you, I like that escape as I'm doing my, you know, 9 to 5 job. It's just nice. So that leads me into the fact that we have, you know, we've kind of touched on it anyway. We have a lot of similar interests in shows and movies, aside from just Winona Earp. And, you know, the more we talk, the more we realize, oh my God, like we're totally on the same wavelength. We watch a lot of the same shows, and we can and actually do talk for hours about them. And we get very excited, and we're hoping to bring some of that to this pod and share the shows that are really just getting us excited and, you know, want to break down and, you know, I don't know about you, but freeze frame, slow-mo, you know, Sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent.
Yeah.
So, another opening that just happened recently, which, oh my God, Earpers are amazing. We can accomplish anything.
It's impressive what we can accomplish.
That's right. When you get a group of nerds together who are all in tune to the same thing, we can move mountains.
Focused. Yep.
So, Melanie Scrofano, we voted and voted and voted daily, and she won the Audience Choice Award at the Canadian Screen Awards. And that is actually... Go ahead, Lee.
That's our hat trick, because
the
first year Kat Burrell won. No, Dom. I apologize. The first year Dominique Provost Chocolate won, and then the second year we got it for Kat Burrell, and then this year we get it for Melanie Scarfano, and then I've heard rumblings that we're going to try and get it for Tim Rozon next year. So
that's right.
He'll be eligible. But yeah, that's a whole voting process, and we remind each other every day, and it's
get your votes in.
It's a commitment.
It really is.
But we love our cast that much that
I had alarms set so that I would remember to vote for Melanie Scrofano every single day on my break at work.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So congratulations, Melanie. You deserve it. You are our lady on top. You are the best lead. You are Winona Earp, just so you know. Nobody can touch that character. You are her, and we love you. And we're so excited that we got that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of the things that we've been nerding out about over the past few weeks. I don't know about you, but I've gotten really excited. Like, one thing right off the bat is my new favorite show, The Nevers.
Okay, yeah.
Oh my God, I love that show.
I think I want to watch it again. Like, I watched it once through.
Absolutely, yes.
And we talked a little bit about it, but I'd really like to watch it again, and maybe... if you want, we can do a little bit more of a deep dive.
I definitely.
Okay.
I'm down to deep dive into the Nevers. Right. Like I told you, it is my new favorite show. Sadly, the season 1 finale just aired on May 16th, and it's on HBO Max in case anybody wants to check it out. Mm-hmm. But first of all, that finale. I literally thought I'm like, am I watching the right show? Like, did I make a mistake here? It took a 180, 360 up, down, left, right turn. And it was amazing.
It was 6 episodes, but they really do have 6 more to shoot, and they're considering those still, season 1. Mm-hmm. But they don't know when those are going to get shot, and I don't even know, how much of it is written at this point. So I think that 6th episode wasn't intended to be any kind of a finale.
Right. No. And yes, you're absolutely right. It was filmed over a 2-year period. Isn't that right?
Took them 2 years to film. They filmed the first 4 episodes, and then COVID hit and they got shut down. And then through the course of, us figuring out as humans how to not give each other the plague, whatever you want to call this thing. They got to start shooting again, and they shot half of episode 5, and then they got shut down again. God. And so when they finally got to come back and finish episode 5 and sneak episode 6 in there, it was a 2-year span.
That's insane, because the continuity throughout the show was so good. Like, you wouldn't, if you watch that show, you would never know that they had to take those breaks.
Yeah.
And that it took as long as it took.
It took as long as it did, yeah.
Yeah. But we're going to do a deep dive, so we're not even going to talk about, what the show's about yet. But that show is my new favorite, as I said.
But check it out if you haven't.
Yes, it's HBO Max.
It's pretty damn good show.
Yeah. And then another thing that I watched recently, that we both watched recently, was the Pink All I Know So Far documentary.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, Pink is amazing. Like, she is she's a great mom. She's a great performer, in her own right. But as a mother, wow. I was blown away with her relationship with her kids.
Me
and
too.
the fact that she toured with them so that she could continue, to be there for them and to give them the experiences of, traveling the world and getting to know different cultures. I was just blown away. She's an awesome person, and the documentary is on Prime Video. So if you get a chance to check it out, it's basically her beautiful trauma tour leading up to her first Wembley Stadium performance. So it's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, I was, from what I know, I we talked about this, but I wasn't a huge, I don't dislike her. I just wasn't a huge Pink fan.
Right.
And from what I know, the image that I knew about her was, she was this rebel rocker and, kind of an out there kind of no rules kind of a person. And then to watch her, raising these two young, healthy, beautiful children, knowing that she's I think her husband are they married? I'm not sure if they're married.
Yes, they are. Carrie Hart.
17 years, I think she mentioned, or something like that.
Wow.
19 years. It's a long time.
Yeah.
And just to see this different side of her, and then the behind the scenes footage of her flying on this trapeze is just absolutely amazing. And the first thing I did was, after I watched it, was go add some of her songs back to my playlist, because I'm a fan now. And not that I wasn't before, but this definitely encouraged me to seek out some more of her music. So
yeah, I had one of her albums. I can't even remember the name of the album, but I loved almost every single song. I think I loved the entire album start to finish. I've been a fan over the years. I've never really sought her out in any respect. Like, I like her music. But this made me, like you, I want to kind of know more about her and listen to some of her more current music.
Yeah.
Because I love her sound. I love the fact that she let her, how old is Willow, her daughter? 7? She let her she let her climb up the scaffolding for the production.
Several stories up in the air.
Yes, and that kid just flew up it like it was no big deal.
No fear at all. Kids are generally like that, where they have no fear, but
true. But not, well, you wouldn't catch me even like 5 feet off the ground.
No, forget that. That's not happening.
No. I would start shaking and be like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Time to start, doing something else.
Yep.
Anyway, so check it out. It's on Prime Video. Like I said, it premiered on May 21st, and it's definitely something to check out. Then, of course, there's the Bold Type season 5 premiere, which sadly this will be their final season, but we both love that show.
Yep.
It features 3, actually several more than that, but the 3 main characters are very strong, independent women who are, they know what they want and they go for it, and it's amazing. It's amazing to watch the chemistry between the 3 of them.
Yeah, their friendship
is it's off the chart as far as them just being there for each other. Like they're like friendship goals. Hashtag friendship goals.
For sure.
Yeah.
So that draws me to it. Yeah. Plus, there's gay in it. So.
Oh well, is there gay in it?
Yes, there is some gay in it. It is a qualification for me wanting to watch a show. I'm sorry. It is, but it is.
Well, we get so little of it, so we do seek it out for sure. Not to say that we won't watch anything that isn't, but that always adds something nice to our viewing experience. If we can see ourselves on screen, that's awesome.
Yep.
The next show that I just kind of wanted to mention was The Masked Singer. I'm so into that show. It makes me laugh so much. I love the panel of the 4 judges, the way they banter with each other. They just make me laugh. And I love trying to figure out who's under the mask. And so they just had their season 5 finale. It aired on Wednesday, the 26th. Do you mind if should I spoil who won?
I don't watch the show, so you won't spoil it for me.
Well, I know, but that's true. Well, spoiler alert, I'm going to actually say who came in 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. So third place was Wiz Khalifa, Get Out of Town. And his costume, he was a chameleon. And if you see that costume, it is amazing. Like head to toe, just they I'm pretty sure they've won awards for that show for costumes or for, for all that. It's so good.
Did it change color?
No, but it was like it was so like it was like rainbow colored and sparkly.
Nice.
And the head, the mask of the head of the chameleon itself, it was amazing. Like it looked like a real chameleon, for the most part, artistic license, what have you,
Right.
but even the eyes kind of like did the chameleon like movement. Like it was
Wow.
so cool. So he came in third, which Wiz Khalifa came in third. So second place was JoJo. She's a singer. And she was dressed as the Black Swan, and she was amazing. Her voice, it was like I kept hearing it, and I'm like, I know this voice. I just couldn't place it, so I couldn't guess her. But I did guess the first place winner, who was Nick Lachey from 98 Degrees.
Okay.
Which I never really got into 98 Degrees back in the day. But he deserved it. He knocked it out of the park. Every song he sang was amazing. And, he even said that it kind of sparked his love of music, And that's the cool thing about the show is that, the people that are on it, they feel like they can let loose because nobody can tell who they are. So,
right.
And it kind of just... it reignites the fire in them, and it really is an experience. If you've never seen the show, you should definitely check it out. It is on, I watch it on Hulu, I believe. I can't even remember what network it is, but what a show. It makes me laugh. And then what did we just watch the other day that just came out on the 27th?
Talking about Friends?
Yeah.
The Friends reunion?
Yeah.
We get to talk about the Friends reunion?
Yeah.
We do?
Yes. Can you believe... 17 years?
17 years
Crazy.
ago was the finale. And I didn't look it up. I meant to, but I'm pretty sure most of them are my age. I'm pretty sure they have to be.
I would think, I would think they're probably...
I think that they're in their 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But damn.
Yeah, so...
What a show.
What a show. I was excited to watch the show and excited to see them together. But I did not expect it to hit me like it did. I'm sitting there watching it, and there are tears streaming down my face. And I'm like, why? What's going on? And it's like just the fact that they're back together. The things that the show has meant to me over the years, because I didn't catch it when it first aired, and the statistics. Let me stop and give you the statistics real quick, because James Corden did a little thing on the couch with the cast, and he spouted off some statistics, and I'm a numbers person. I like those kinds of things. So let me find my notes here. So the show ran for 10 seasons from 1994 to 2004. And in the 17 years since the finale, this was only the second time that all 6 actors had been in the same room together.
I know, which is...
It was incredible.
Yes. I just can't believe that.
Yeah. There were 236 episodes that aired over 220 territories. It was the #1 comedy show on TV for 6 straight seasons. Which,
yeah. And I would love to know which seasons those were. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Not the first couple, because it took them a while.
Yeah.
It averaged 25 million views each week.
Crazy.
Over 52 million watched the finale.
Wow.
And since the show has been on, it's been watched over 100 billion times.
Billion. Not million. Yeah. Billion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I guess the significance of all of that is, I know that I didn't start watching it in 1994 because I was in that was my first marriage, and I was in my dark stages of definitely not being a nerd then. But I, at some point, did start watching the show and watched it live back then. But over the course of coming back to wanting to be a nerd and allowing that in myself, I've watched, the reruns over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
TBS had aired them until they took them off network television, and HBO got the rights. I think it was on Netflix at one point too, if I'm not mistaken. So I can pretty much, as they were doing the table reads, which I absolutely loved.
Oh my God, it was
they were
amazing.
doing those table reads. I pretty much can recite most of what they're saying.
Yes.
I'm that bad at, or that good at being a fan of this show.
It's funny because a lot of the lines that they touched on in the reunion, these are things that I say even to this day.
I know, my eyes.
Pivot. Like,
oh,
just,
what a classic.
oh my God, when that clip played, I was crying, laughing. It was so hilarious. And then like to see them reenacting certain scenes, like I was, the my eyes.
Yeah.
First of all, Lisa Kudrow, she is amazing. The fact that she became Phoebe at that table read, like it was amazing. And like was so like spot on to that original performance. I was like, oh
That's
my God,
what blew
it's like
me away.
Yeah, it was like watching it again from just a different perspective. Like it's so good.
Yeah. And I loved watching them just, the couch, the interview with James Corden was fine and fun, but I liked really watching them just sitting around BSing and reminiscing together, because that's really, and it's what they wanted to do too, obviously. There was this
and
wasn't
going
a
on the
scripted-
set, they had rebuilt the set, you said, right?
Yeah, they rebuilt that set, and just the very beginning of it, when each one of them comes in individually, and how their reaction is to wow, and we're having that same reaction with them. It's like wow, and I love that David Schwimmer remembered that the beam had gone away, because it wasn't I think maybe first season, maybe even I think they took it out in the second season because it was always in the way, but them playing with it and standing in front of it and just watching them like get back into the swing of things, and they have already said that they keep in touch. And even Lisa Kudrow said, maybe not every day, but we know that we're there for each other. We're family.
I'll be there for you.
The fact that the girls ate lunch together while they were on the set every day, and they even said that oftentimes they ate dinner together and they spent weekends together, and it was just this incredible bond that formed between the six of them, just again because of just a show. And you feel that when you're watching it, you feel that camaraderie and that it's, and I if I had to pick a character that I identified with the most, I don't think I could, because I saw myself in almost all of them. And maybe not Rachel so much, but I always felt like Joey and Chandler from the very beginning, and Ross for being a nerd, and Monica for being the neat freak, and it's like you could find yourself in all of these characters. And just knowing that they still have that bond today,
kind of like our little group. We
exactly.
have a very strong bond, and I definitely got teary towards the end of it, because I think even it was Courtney Cox that said, this will probably be the last time we're all together, like in talking about the show. Right. Because we're not going to get together another 15 years. Right. Who knows, Courtney? We may want that. Like, if you're happen. All here, maybe we want that. We want it. Yeah. But yeah, the Friends was an amazing show. I also watched. I actually watched it when it was on, and it still holds up to this day. That show, if you put it on, and it is hilarious. Like, some of the things that they did were just like, it was so unique to the show. But and the fact that they went through talking about how they found all of the cast, what an ensemble they found. Like that is lightning in a bottle, just like Winona Earp. Like, that cast is lightning in a bottle for sure. But being able to find those 6 actors who, and apparently it took a long time for them to actually find the right people. It did
sound like it, yeah.
Yeah, so if you haven't had an opportunity to watch it, it's on HBO Max.
Well, I'm not done. Oh. I'm not done. We have to talk about the fact that Lady Gaga...
Oh, my God.
Fucking sang Smelly Cat with Lisa Kudrow or Phoebe. And the chorus comes in.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm laughing and crying at the same time. It's
Oh my
like, this
God.
is so amazing.
Yeah.
And you could see that Lisa Kudrow was like starstruck by the fact that
Yes.
Lady Gaga is sitting next to her on the couch, and Lady Gaga is like, oh my God, this is Phoebe. I identify with you. It was just this moment of just mutual admiration, and I absolutely, I probably will watch that part again and again and again, just because you know, it was so amazing.
It really was. And I love the fact that Lisa Kudrow, being Phoebe, said, I thought it sounded better like when it was just me or whatever, because that's what she said on the show.
Yes.
And just so good. And Lady Gaga nailed it. Like, oh my God, she just made Smelly Cat like the next #1 single in the US.
Trying to remember, was it Chrissy Hynde that sang it with her, the original? Wasn't it?
To be honest, I can't remember. I was trying to remember that last night. I watched it last night. So
did you? Yeah. So it was Chrissy Hynde was a rocker doing a set, and I'm pretty sure she sang it. And there was also Phoebe had a best friend that they screwed each other over.
Right.
The best friend went to the jingle. The jingle business and she stole Smelly Cat, and they did this video and everything. So it's been spoofed a couple of times, but just yeah. I really loved Lady Gaga's rendition of it.
And to find out that they, so the cast apparently did a huddle right before every show, except for one. And in that one show, Matt LeBlanc dislocated his shoulder.
Yeah.
So every time after that, he was like, oh no, we're doing the huddle. Like, I'm not getting hurt again type of thing.
And the uniqueness of that episode was that they shot that all in that one set. They didn't go anywhere else. So it was a one continuous shoot, basically. Yes. And then when Matt LeBlanc hurt himself, they had to stop shooting. So they hadn't finished the show. They hadn't finished that taping. So they had to go back and finish it. But you would never know that by watching it now. You would never know that there was that interruption in there.
No, and I believe one of the producers said that it was the least expensive episode because they were all in that one place.
They were all in one
they
place,
didn't have to go anywhere or set up any other sets.
Build.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
But it was the longest to film because of his injury.
Yeah.
So, which I don't know about you, but I was shielding my eyes. I'm like, I do not want to see his shoulder dislocated. Like, it was hard to see it. Like that. Yeah.
It was hard to see it, fortunately, but it makes total sense to why the sling that Matt LeBlanc was wearing. I always wondered what he had done to hurt himself, because you see it in the show, because it's the episode where he gets to eat the jelly, and he's got the jelly all over his face. He's wearing it then, but we know he jumps on the bed and hurts himself. We know they'd write it in, but he was actually hurt.
Right.
So now that all like gelled for me. It was like, I'm sorry that he got hurt, but it's just clever that they wrote it in that way. So yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. I don't know if we want to address the fact that I've seen a couple of things on Twitter criticizing the fact that the show was homophobic and fat shaming, and I get that. I get that it looks like that from the view of 2021, but back then we didn't have any kind of representation on TV, and the fact that that it was pointed out, the fact that Chandler often his coworkers thought he was gay, and I don't think that his reaction was anything out of the norm at that point. It's like,
no,
we would have the same reaction if someone thinks we're straight. It's like, no, I'm not.
Right.
But looking at it now, it was a little harsh. Maybe it was a little raw. I don't know. But it's all we had, and I never took offense to it.
No, and honestly, I think it was a sign of the times as well.
Yeah. We've evolved.
That's right. We're constantly evolving, as a society, thankfully.
Yeah.
So now that we've talked about some of the things that we've been watching, now we're going to segue into Nerd Alert. These are some of the things that are coming up that we're both really excited to talk about. First of which for me is actually A Quiet Place Part 2. I saw the first one and was blown away. It stars Emily Blunt, and is in theaters only. It released yesterday, which was May 28th. And I am actually considering going to the theater for the first time in over a year,
Wow.
year and a half.
It's that good that
Yes.
will compel you to go out and see it.
Yes, absolutely. And I've already seen it's getting really good reviews. So
Oh, cool.
it definitely, by all accounts, seems to be living up to, the hype of being a sequel. So I am super excited. It's basically almost like a post-apocalyptic story where aliens have invaded planet Earth, and if you make too much noise, they come and they kill you immediately. They react to noise. So the sequel is picking up. I'm pretty sure it picks up right where the first one leaves off, or if not, it's probably within maybe like weeks or months following that first movie. And it's Emily Blunt's character has three kids, actually, 3 children, and they're trying to survive in this world, and it looks so good. I can't wait. So yeah, that I definitely will be going to the theater for that one. So another series I'm actually really excited for is the Marvel series Loki, and it's going to premiere on June 9th, and it's going to be on Disney Plus. And it has Tom Hiddleston as the titular character. And Owen Wilson actually is going to be in the show. And from what I could tell on IMDb, it looks like it's going to be a recurring series, not just a one-off like WandaVision.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, the reason I say that is because, when you look at IMDb, they have the date range or whatever. There actually is, it says 2021 dash, and then there's a blank. So it almost seems like this could be more than just one season, which is amazing. I love the character of Loki. He is a troublemaker. He was the brother of Thor. Well, adopted brother of Thor. Adopted might be too nice a word, but yeah. So I'm super excited to see what they do with that. Just again, I am a Marvel fan through and through. I love everything that they're doing. I don't think I've seen a single Marvel show or movie that I didn't like. Well, wow. I take that back. Maybe the Hulk wasn't my favorite. And in fact, I did a rewatch of all the movies up through. So beginning with Captain America, the first Avenger, all the way up through Avengers Endgame. And that was the only movie that I didn't include in my chronological watch of the entire movie. I think it was like 30 movies. It was close to 30 movies.
Did you there used to be a show on TV, The Hulk.
Oh my God, yeah. I watched it when I was a kid.
Did you watch it?
What was his name? Bruce Banner was played by...
Yeah, I can see his face. I can't remember the actor's name.
I can't either. But the Hulk was played by... Oh my God, and I'm blanking.
Yeah. The bodybuilder.
Yes, he was a bodybuilder. I can see his face perfectly.
Yeah, me too.
Well, whatever.
Well, anyway. It was just be a show on TV.
Yeah, exactly. And it was back in what, the 70s?
God, I think so. Yeah.
Maybe early 80s. I think it was maybe the 70s, because I think it was rerun when I was watching it.
That's probably right.
And it was okay for what it was back then. Now I don't think it holds up anymore. But
no, we didn't have the special effects and
no.
I always wondered.
Ray Ferrigno.
Lou
Ferrigno. That's
Lou Ferrigno.
it. See, I knew I'd get there sometime.
Yep, exactly.
Lou Ferrigno.
I always wondered how he got his pants back on, because when he hulked out, his pants were a lot bigger. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's funny because he would lose the shirt, but
but not the
still
pants.
have the pants. Yeah. And now it's funny because the image of the Hulk, to me, I love what Marvel did in all the Avengers movies. So the image is seeing Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk compared to what they did with the CGI and what's the actor's name? Jesus.
It's not Jesus, I can tell you.
Definitely not Jesus. What is it? Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
What they did with the CGI and just how big and just they Lou Ferrigno just pales in comparison now. Yeah. So, but I have evolved, my love of, that character. Anyway, moving on. I forgot where I was going with that whole freaking thing.
Distracted you. I know, I distracted you.
That's okay. Do you have any other shows that you're getting excited about?
A couple of things that caught my eye, just some blurbs that go across my Twitter feed, but I didn't realize that there was a Sex and the City reboot that's coming soon.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah, and it's actually called And Just Like This, which is kind of weird, but the thing that caught my eye about it is Sarah Ramirez, who played Callie Torres on Grey's Anatomy, is going to be a character on the show as well. So apparently they're incorporating more, queer queer characters. Not that they needed to in that show, because I mean it still had its boy characters. I don't remember any female.
There was a lot of gay men in that show.
Yeah, but I don't remember any. Any of the females. I mean, what's her name?
Kim
Cynthia
Cattrall.
Dixon. Nah, she didn't do any.
Well, she had a lesbian relationship in the original series.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yes,
you're right.
It was
because she was complaining about them always being in the bathtub and like it was boring.
Yeah, so that is exciting. I would definitely watch Sex and the City reboot.
It's going to be on HBO, but they don't have a release date yet. I don't think they've started filming that yet.
Right. And I think I heard that the only one that's not going to return is Kim Cattrall.
Kim Cattrall, yeah. And she said that all along, basically.
Right. She was done.
Yeah. We have a Charlize Theron sighting soon.
I can't wait.
I know. I knew I would get you with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be, the show's called The School of Good and Evil. It's going to be on Netflix.
Do they have a release date for it yet?
No release date, but they're filming right now in Northern Ireland.
Ooh.
It's also going to star Michelle Yeoh, Lawrence Fishburne, and Kerry Washington.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that one because I'm a huge Charlize fan.
Yeah,
so.
and I've recently gotten hooked on her, so watching her in The Old Guard, and we know we're going to get an Old Guard too.
Awesome movie. I cannot wait for number 2.
Yeah.
That character, Andy, we'll call her, because that was her nickname.
Yeah.
Oh, man, she kicks ass.
Yeah, that was a very well done movie.
Yes, it was.
And I have to admit that I'm late to the table on some of these things, but I recently watched Atomic Blonde, and yes, I needed a moment.
Exactly. I have that movie. I bought it on iTunes. I tend to buy movies when they go on sale because I'm a cinephile. In case in case nobody knows, I love movies. I love TV too. I give them both equal time in my life, but I definitely consider myself a cinephile. And so, The Old Guard was amazing. Can't wait for number 2. Very interested to see this new series too. I don't really know much about it, but I mean, Charlize, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
And funny enough, Charlize had tweeted out at one point that she wanted to do a lesbian Die Hard.
Yeah. Yes.
So, oh my God, please, Charlize, please.
I don't know that anyone has written it yet, but she would be open to the fact of,
Yeah, she has stated that, and she's like, where do I sign? And just somebody get her a pen, please, and make this happen, because my little gay heart needs this. I need this in my life. So, another thing that's coming up that, I kind of fell off watching the show, but I feel like we should mention it because it is a queer character. It's a show on Hulu called Love, Victor, and they're going to be premiering their 2nd season on June 11th. And, what I watched of the show, I really did like. I only got probably 3 or 4 episodes in, and then I got distracted, squirrel. So I do intend to go back and continue watching it. And it's all based off of a movie that came out several years ago called Love, Simon. And it's about a high school kid who, is trying to come to terms with his sexuality. And he basically has written correspondence with another person who is also gay. And they kind of rely on each other. They kind of have these conversations through these letters back and forth to one another, and it's just his evolution into accepting himself as a gay character, so, or gay person.
What was it called?
The series itself is called Love, Victor,
Okay.
and it's on Hulu. And I recommend checking it out. Like I said, I liked what I saw, but I definitely need to go back and finish watching. So, but yeah, their season 2 premieres June 11th.
Cool.
And then another exciting thing that, you know, a lot of Hamilton fans are going to be really excited about is the new Lin-Manuel Miranda movie called In the Heights, which is actually an update of a Tony-winning musical. And that comes out on HBO Max and is being released in theaters on June 11th.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So anybody who has HBO Max will get to see it, you know, without having to pay any extra fees like, you know, some of these other streamers who, you know, Premiere Access, you know. But yeah, so that looks great. It's a musical, and it's very much in the same vein as Hamilton. I kind of I watched the trailer for it, and the music kind of sounds very similar to Hamilton. So I loved Hamilton, by the way. I did see it in the theater we have here in town. But I'm hopeful that they kind of, you know, break out from that same, you know, hopefully it's not just a rehashing of, you know, the same sound, because that I really did. It sounded very similar to the tone and the pace of, you know, and maybe that's just his style. So,
could be.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it though. It looks really good. There's dance numbers, there's singing, of course.
Oh wow!
And it's about a guy who wants to get back to the Dominican Republic, and he lives in the Heights. And that's really all I know about it so far. But it just the cinematic, you know, quality of even the trailer, it looks great. So just keep that on your calendar or whatever. But probably the biggest thing that I found out yesterday was that Black Widow finally has a release date.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's coming out July 9th. So it's you know, over a month away.
It's coming, yeah.
But I am, oh my God, I can't wait. Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. It's you know, Black Widow is a Marvel character, of course. I'm super into Marvel. And this movie will again be on it's Disney Plus Premier Access. So as I mentioned, if you have Disney Plus, you're not guaranteed to see it unless you pay a little extra, which I think is kind of, you know, you already have the membership, you're paying, you should be able to just watch what you want to watch. Like HBO Max, they're doing it right. And then it will also be in theaters. So very much looking forward to that. But that stars Scarlett Johansson as the Black Widow, Florence Pugh, David Harbour, who was in Stranger Things, which I love that show, and then Rachel Weisz. So that one looks like it's going to be really good, action packed.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So another thing that I'm kind of excited about that's going on actually right now are a couple of the shows that we're watching. And I've even tweeted this out that I didn't ever imagine in my lifetime that I, let alone would never see one same-sex wedding on TV. But now we're actually going to get a second one. So the first one being Winona Earp and Way Hot, which is...
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's a magnificent episode. Unfortunately, it was their last episode of the series, but... You know, 412 will go down in history as one of the most amazing same-sex unions. And now we get Station 19. They leaked that we're actually getting the wedding, so they got Maya and Karina. I'm so excited about it. I can't even say their names right. So Maya and Karina got engaged. Last week, the week before last, I apologize, was it before last? So spoiler alert, I guess I'm saying that too late, but they got
pretty much assume that anything we talk about, we're going to spoil it.
So they became engaged, and you know, the catalyst being that Karina needs to have a visa to stay in the country. This week on the show, the crew basically said you have to have a wedding, and Maya said, "Well, it was hard enough to get Karina to even agree to marrying me, let alone having an actual ceremony." But from the previews, it does look like she convinced her, and so now we're going to see a second same-sex wedding on network television, and it's amazing. And
what a great time to be a queer nerd,
for sure. And I guess we can. I'll definitely want to talk about that after the episode airs. That is actually their season finale as well. So Grey's and Station 19 are going to be over for just a little bit because they're both coming back. They've both been renewed for a new season. But in that same vein, the other show that I love is Legends of Tomorrow on the CW, and we've got a long running same-sex relationship going on with that show, and in Ava Lance, Sarah Lance, and Ava Sharp have been together so they got together in season 4.
Was it 3 or 4?
It was, maybe it was 3. Yeah, maybe it was 3. So 3, 4, 5. They're on their 6th season. So for 4 seasons now, they've been, a monogamous couple. Mm-hmm. And I honestly, the way the show had been written, and I was fine with, never even imagined that they would actually consider a traditional marriage. They've, made the pinky swear and co-captains for life, and and committed and completely, perfectly happy with each other. But we get the in the very first episodes of this season, we find out that actually it was the first episode, I believe, that Sarah had planned on asking Ava to marry her, and of course she's stuck on this other planet somewhere, and they're not together. They haven't been together the whole series yet, the whole season yet. But I'm hearing rumblings and seeing things on Twitter that I don't know if it's just wishful thinking, but maybe we're actually going to get an Ava Lance wedding too, which would be so incredible.
Cool. Yeah.
So,
three within the span of a year.
A year, yeah. So
less than a year, probably even like 6 months. Yeah. Like, is it Christmas?
Yeah, exactly. I just never thought that I would ever see something like that. So that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you. I was blown away, of course, by the season 4 finale of Winona Earp, and I just wanted to kind of say, the Earpers we are fighting for season 5. The only thing that stands in our way right now is the fact that we need a U.S. distributor to get the show out, because everybody is on board. The creator, writers, cast, crew, everybody wants
company.
Yeah, everybody wants to continue the show, and we are very hopeful that we will get a season 5. However, there has been also some talk about potentially having to settle for a movie, which any additional Winona Earp content I'm there for. But I'm confident. I think that we can actually get season 5. We're tweeting every day. Earpers are tweeting every day to stay in the top 5 trending.
Well, and we'll get there. We're Earpers and we don't give up. So
that's right.
We just keep on Earping.
That's right. Earp hard. Keep calm and Earp on.
Yeah. So I think we covered quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah, we did.
And hopefully it's something that someone can relate to. So you can reach out to us on Twitter at nerd2nerdpod, and we have an email address at nerd2nerdpodcast@gmail.com if you want to let us know what you think about us.
We hope you'll join us on this new and exciting adventure. We want to thank you for listening, and until next time, stay nerdy.